first we have to discuss that what is convergence of technologies. So let's read. Convergence refers to coming together of two areas or fields or technologies. So the technological convergence or convergence of technologies can be thought as the process by which existing technologies merge into new forms that bring together different types of media and applications. Fine. So now, in easy words, we can say that converging of technology means combining two or more type of technologies to create something new. Fine. So in this technical field, when for a particular application or for a particular task, we combine two other technologies or two different technologies, then it is termed as converging or the convergence of technologies. Now, in this convergence of technologies, we have various methods, we have various type of technologies available. Now, we have to discuss about all these technologies. Now, the major technologies that are being covered or converged to form new convergent technologies are given here. The first one is computer technology. Fine. In this computer technology, it includes hardwares and softwares that are the foundation of a computer system. Now, computer terminology also involves associated technologies crucial for computers such as processors, memories, networks and operating systems. Now in this computer technology, we have some hardware components, we have some softwares, then we have some other kind of devices. All these devices are converged or these are merged to make our computers, and we are using multiple technologies in one computer system. The second one is termed as communication technology. In communication technology, it includes information transfer technologies. It means these are the technologies with the help of which we can transfer information. Now, it includes communication mediums such as wired or wireless and internet, email, mobile devices, radio technologies, satellites and other softwares that we have for communication. These all are the examples of communication technologies. Fine. Then next we have ICT. It's a very important term. It is generally asked. Well, ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. Fine. This ICT is a combined term. It is a combination of IT and CT. IT stands for Information Technology and CT stands for Communication Technology. Fine. In IT, we have to learn various methods and technologies by which we can create our information, we can retrieve it, we can process it and we can work over our information. Whereas CT stands for Communication Technology, it includes various methods through which we can communicate. Now, when we perform the process of communication for sharing the information or for working on some information, in that case it is termed as Information and Communication Technology. Fine. So in short, we can say that ICT refers to convergence of technologies that provide access to information via telecommunications. Fine. Now the last one is content technology. Now the content technologies cater to content driven fields such as print media, television, radio, publishing industry and other things. The content technologies of today include 3D pictures, 3D movies, real-time broadcast, etc. And the most common example of the content technology is cricket matches. You might have found that in cricket matches we have multiple kinds of data feeds. Fine, we have some bars, we have some graphs, we have an audio clip, we have pitch information, we have the ball information, we have the wicket information. Fine. So all these informations can be stored or can be managed by using the content technologies of the computers. Fine. So now these are some basic technologies which are converged. It means these are made from two or more technologies. Fine. Now we have to start with the main topic of our chapter, that is what is computer. Fine. Now there is a homework for you all. In these communication technologies that we have discussed earlier, there are so many things like email, SMS, video conferencing, blogs and microbloggings. Fine. I think that you all know about these topics, but still we will discuss them. Well, email is a special kind of mailing service where we can send some electronic mails. Fine. Then SMS stands for short message service. It's a telecommunication facility that we have and through which we can send some messages. Then next is a video conferencing. In video conferencing, we can chat with others by using the visual forms. Fine. Here both video and audio are involved. Then next is termed as blogs. Blogs are some kind of websites where we can upload our data and then others can easily see those data items. And microblogging is also similar to the blogs. But there's a homework for you all. You have to read these terms from your book. The PDF is attached in the WhatsApp group. Fine. Just go through these terms once and then comment down if in case you have any problem. Now, well, the most important question of this chapter is, what is a computer system? Fine. So now let's understand this. Well, this word computer is derived from the word compute, which means to calculate. Fine. It means this word compute means to calculate. So in easy words, we can say that initially this computer was a machine that was made only for the calculation purpose. Fine. A computer is an electronic device that can perform millions of calculations, or it can execute millions of instructions in just a second. Fine. Our computers are very fast. Fine. These devices can perform millions of calculations in just a second. Fine. Well, it can perform a variety of operations in accordance with a set of instructions called program. Now, it is the most important thing. A computer can perform n number of operations depending on the programs that we are creating. Fine. These programs are some set of instructions which are written, and every set of instruction is a command for our computer system. Now, in general terms, we can say that a computer is a group of electronic devices which are used to process our data. Fine. So it means computer is a machine. It has some components, and these all components are there just to process our data. Fine. Now, what are these components? Let's see. A computer can be thought of a combination of hardware, software, data, information. Fine. Now let's read this first. A computer can be thought of a combination of hardware and software which transforms data into information. Fine. Now what is there basically? Our computer system is a combination of hardware and software, and these hardwares and softwares are generally used to convert our data items into the information. Fine. Now, hardware. The components that we can touch or that we can feel are termed as the hardware components. For example, if in case you are holding your phone in your hand, so that phone is a piece of hardware. Then next is software. The applications that we use, it means the app that you are using just for now, that app is a piece of software. Fine. So these are some set of instructions or programs that tell the computer that what is to be done. Fine. Then next we have data. Generally data is an unorganized fact and figure. Fine. So it means everything that is unorganized, which is meaningless, is termed as a data item. For example, I have a name. Fine. Let's say if I will tell you a number, let's say 21. So it means that 21 is a meaningless piece of information. So this 21 can be a data item just now because we don't have complete information about this 21. Fine. So now next is information. Information is processed or organized form of data that is meaningful, is termed as information. It means when we process our data, when we organize it, or when we write it properly, then it converts into the information. Now let's suppose if I will tell you that this 21 is your marks. This 21 is your marks of computers. So it means that these are your marks that you have got. So now you can easily understand the meaning of this number 21. But if I will just tell you a number, in that case the number will be a meaningless data. Now we have to discuss the advantages of a computer system. In general, our computer has various advantages. Fine. It has some disadvantages also. So first we have to discuss the advantages and then we will discuss the disadvantages. The first is speed. Well, being a machine, it's very fast. It can even complete those tasks in a few seconds that a user can solve in various years or various months. Now, in general, no human being can compete to solve the complex calculations or computations as faster than a computer. It means we are very slow in compared to a computer. Fine. Now next is accuracy. Well, because these computers are programmed, so it means whatever input you will give, for every input there will be an accurate output until or unless your program is wrong. Fine. It means a computer can never generate any error until or unless your program is buggy or it has some errors. Next is the storage. Computer can store mass storage of data with appropriate format. It means our computer system can store multiple informations in it with appropriate formats, and it also remember this data. Fine. Next is diligence. Diligence means our computer system can work for hours without creating any error or without feeling tired. Fine. So that makes us a very important feature for us. Now next is versatility. Versatility means we can perform n number of tasks, n number of different operations in our computer at a time. Likewise, you can play a game, at the same time you can listen to music, at the same time you can record that game which you are playing. Fine. So all these tasks can be done at the same time and still your computer will run smoothly. So it makes our computers versatile. Fine. Now the last point is, the last advantage is power of remembering. Power of remembering means it can remember things for a very long duration. Fine. Now we have some more advantages, but I think that these are the most important points that you must have to include in your notes. Now next we have some disadvantages. Well, being a machine, it will have some disadvantages. The first one is no IQ. No IQ means it doesn't have any kind of intelligence. Fine. Intelligence of its own. Well, our computer does not work without instructions. It means without the programs your computer will not work. Now let's suppose you haven't designed any program. So if you haven't designed any program, your computer will not work. Fine. It means first you have to design the programs and then only you can use the computers. Fine. They cannot design their programs by their own. The next is no feeling. Well, computer does not have emotion. Fine. It's an emotionless machine. It doesn't have knowledge. It doesn't have experience. It doesn't have feelings. Fine. Now let's suppose you are feeling tired. So your computer cannot tell you anything about that. Fine. Suppose that you are feeling sad. Your computer cannot understand your feelings now. Fine. So it means that it's a device which cannot understand our feelings. Now, no power to make decisions. Well, being a machine, it is difficult for the computer to take its own decisions. Fine. But generally it depends on the logics which are pre-stored. It doesn't have its own IQ or its own decisions. Then the last is dependent on electricity. Well, being an electronic device, it is purely dependent on electricity, and without electric current we cannot use our computers. Fine. Now next we have to discuss the most important thing, that is working of a computer. Fine. Now in general this working of a computer is termed as IPO cycle. This IPO stands for input, process and output cycle. Fine. Now what happens in general? Let's have a look over this side. Whenever we input something, input means the data that we enter. Fine. So whenever you enter something in the computer, that piece of input is first processed. Fine. That piece of input is first processed, and then after processing the results are generated. Fine. It means that first you will give the input, then after taking the input it will process the input, and after processing it will generate the output. It means it's a long process, but because our machine is very fast, so it takes just a few seconds for this complete processing. Fine. Now let's see what is written over here. A computer system follows the IPO cycle, where it takes the input from the user by using some input devices. Fine. Generally these input devices are the devices with the help of which we can enter our data. Fine. It includes the devices like keyboard, mouse or other keypads, the thumbprint scanners, the cameras, the microphones. Fine. All these devices are the input devices. Now processes the given instructions into CU and ALU. Well, the CU stands for control unit and ALU stands for arithmetical and logical unit. We will discuss these terms, don't worry. Fine. So it means first you will give some input. These inputs will be processed inside CU and ALU to generate the accurate output. It means after processing only we will get the output, and all the intermediary and final results are stored in the computer's main memory. Fine. It means whatever you will do after output, everything will be stored or will be kept in the computer's memory. Fine. That data can be kept permanently also or temporarily also. Fine. So we can say that in summarized way, we can say that a computer takes input, it carries the processing, and then it produces the output. Now, functional components of a computer system. Fine. Well, in our computer we only have four components that are functional in nature. It means every time these components have to work, and if any of these components will not work, we cannot use our computer. Now let's see what are these components. First we have the input devices. Input devices are the devices with the help of which we can input our data. Fine. It means anything that you have to give to your PC, for that you must have to use at least one input device. Fine. It means for typing purpose we have to use a keyboard. Without a keyboard we cannot type. So it means that keyboard is a type of input device. Then next is processing unit. When you will give the inputs, these inputs will be executed by the computer, and for the execution of the input it will use some processing units. Fine. So generally this processing unit is the CPU. It is the CPU of our machine. Then next is output. Well, when your data is processed, it will generate the final output. Fine. It will generate the final output, and for carrying out that final output devices are generally used. Fine. And after the output, that output sometimes is also stored in our computer's memory, and that is the main role of storage, to store that particular data. Now here's a very simple diagram that we have to understand. Now have a look here. On this side we have input devices, here we have the output devices, and the central thing that you all are able to see, it is our CPU. Fine. This complete box is our CPU. Well, inside this CPU you can see that we have three parts. We have CU, we have ALU, and then we have this MU. Fine. So these are some components of our CPU. This is the input device and this is our output device. Fine.